Like, I don't know. We were talking about our encounters, not about the fourth kind. We already talked about that part, right?
Yeah,
Are
yeah.
we good?
We were about to talk about our encounters that we had.
Okay. Okay, so my legitimate encounter was there was a time when me and my father, he was outside on the front porch back when we lived on Warwick Street in New Island off of Tracy, right? And we were outside and he was out in the front porch and he was having a cigarette. And we were playing like Guitar Hero or something at the time. I'm not even thinking about aliens. He's not even thinking about aliens probably. And he's like, "You see that?" And I'm like, "See what? What are you talking about?" And he's like,
Thinking he's
"Up
messing
there." And
with
he's
you.
like, and I was like, "Stop, you're scaring me." You know? And he was like, "No, look at that. That's a fucking UFO." And I was like, "Ah, no, it's probably like a plane." And I look up and I see like a fucking like can I make a triangle with my hand? Like a triangle like that. And it's like flying slowly. And I know people are like, that was a stealth bomber. No, hold on. It had like a stream of lights kind of falling behind it. And it was like, imagine kind of like lasers kind of following behind it, like thin beams, but they're short.
Sure.
So it looked like a propulsion system. And we were watching, we are like, wow, wow. And I think like my mom came out there and looked at it. And then like my brothers, I think one of them looked at it and seen it. But before that happened, it fucking took off. And when I mean took off, like my hand is like the visible sky and it's moving, and it gone, right? Just fucking zoomed, yeeted itself out of distance, like out of vision, out of sight.
See, you
I don't
can't
know what the
even
fuck
say
I'm
that's a
saying.
stealth bomber because people don't realize how big stealth bombers are and they don't fly
They're
that high in
massive.
the sky. If they're flying, they fly, I mean, they don't fly low, but they fly relatively low to the point where you can physically, like, they look massive. You know what I
And you
mean?
could see them flying
Yeah, they're not a
at a
stealth
fast
bomber because
pace.
you don't see them. They're a stealth bomber because you don't hear them.
Yeah, and like you can see, even if it like if they go full thrust and they're zooming through the sky, which is probably pretty fucking fast,
Right.
you can track them with your eyes.
You can.
I couldn't physically track this as like a 9, 10 year old boy with my eyes. It was like legitimately
Yeet.
impossible.
Because my first story I was going to say is kind of similar to yours. So I don't remember what year it was. All I remember is it was at my old house in Franklin,
Yeah.
and it was when we had that swimming pool in the backyard.
Hmm.
And it was it before smartphones? I had an iPod Touch.
Yeah.
I just don't remember if I had a smartphone with my iPod Touch or if it was when I had like one of those Razor slides. Anyways, I'm in the pool with my mother and my brother, and my brother
Hmm.
hops out and he goes inside because it was during that time he was like, I don't want to swim, I just want to play video games, blah blah blah, whatever.
Yeah.
Well, my mom hops out of the pool to smoke, and she's like sitting on our patio, and I don't know if you remember my backyard patio. It had like those grids
Hmm.
where you could like wrap vines around them or whatever. Well, she was
Yeah.
sitting there and she had her umbrella opened, so it was open and she couldn't see the sky from where she was sitting, where she had her phone. And I was just kind of like laying on my back, like floating, looking up into the sky. And I saw two shapes, and they were like, they weren't discs like round. They were more like not even cigars either, like ovals is what they really were. They were ovals. And the best way I can describe how they were like sitting in the air is you had one of them like sitting right here and one of them was right here, and they were like doing this. Like they were just floating there, kind of hovering, almost like you'd think a helicopter would hover, right? Like it's not standing still. It's just kind of like you know what I mean, just moving a little bit.
Yeah.
And I freaked out. I was like, "Whoa, like what are those? Like are those is that a helicopter?" Because I don't know if you know this, but like in that neighborhood, you would see like airplanes and helicopters over the sky all the time. I don't know if there was like an airport near us, or I know like Camp
Yeah.
Atterbury
Yeah.
was
Yeah.
south of there, but anyways, So I was like, yo, is that like a helicopter, an airplane, whatever? So I yelled for my mom. I was like, mom, come look at this. Well, it was back in the day where not everybody's always on their cell phone. So she puts her phone down and walks into the grass and looks up. And we both see these things. And they're just sitting there just. Well, one of them just kind of like moves. And it was very slow. It was like it moved, and then it was gone. And I was like, did you fucking see that? And my mom was like freaking out. She was like, holy crap, blah, blah, blah. So she walks back to the deck to get her phone. And she's walking slowly. You know how my mom is. She's just like in no rush at all. She's always just in slow mode. Well,
Yeah.
I'm watching this thing still because I'm like, there's no way. I'm like, Cody, get my iPod. My brother's not even out there. He's inside the house. And I'm looking up and I'm seeing this thing and it's sitting in the sky and it's just like kind of doing this. And then it moves over. And then it moves over. And it's almost like doing like not shaped, but it's like just kind of like moving back and forth just to like taunt me is kind of what I felt like.
Yeah.
And then and when I tell you that this thing took off, it wasn't like I could follow it, right? It's not like it just kind of like it was gone. Like I
Yeah.
turned to try to find it facing over by not Daniel's house. It was the other house, like over by where Bailey lived, like towards the direction of that Dairy Queen. And I'm turning and I'm looking to try to see it, and it's gone. Like it is out of visible sight. It's nowhere. It's not off in the distance. I was like, what?
Yeah. See, that's so crazy. It's like similar situations too. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, and it's like it's not like you have one eyewitness. You
No,
have
my
multiple
mom was
eyewitnesses.
there, and my mom will vouch for it too because she swears up and down that this happened.
Yeah, and like my dad, same thing. He's like, remember one time you see a UFO, and I was like, yeah, of course I fucking remember that. Like that was crazy. And I think my younger brother, I think Miles is also out there. I don't know how much he remembers because he was real little, and then my real mom. Uh, but yeah, like if you have multiple eyewitnesses, it's just bizarre. Like, and people are like, no, no, that didn't happen. It's like I
Well,
know it's like anecdotal evidence,
yeah.
but I have anecdotal evidence from several different people, like the Phoenix lights, for example, where people are like, no, it's like there's fucking video
I think
footage.
the only problem with that, and I fall into this category too, is like when I saw those Phoenix lights, like the videos that they have of it. If you were there, you know that that was a thing that happened. But if you're anybody else, you're just thinking, oh, that's CGI'd, that's edited. And that's
Yeah,
kind of where someone else's word comes into play and you don't believe it because just anybody can be like, oh, yeah, I saw an alien. He, fucked me. But like
yeah,
when you physically experience it and you know that you're not lying, like I'm not trying to get money off of saying that I saw an alien. I'm just like
yeah.
telling you, like I dead ass saw this thing. It's crazy. You had a